If education is what Nelson Mandela describes as the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, then everyone should be given the opportunity. And that is the OER promise, an equitable opportunity to education.
It just has provided great benefit to students. They don't have to purchase textbooks, and it gets them to start looking at a wider variety of material that they can draw together and get the concepts from.
It began out of a concern for my film students because I was getting a lot of feedback to reduce the costs for the online film course. They were under the impression that their fees included the film.
OER gives me so much flexibility. If there's something new about a social issue, if there is a new perspective, I can give students up-to-date information on that directly through OER.
I started with Introduction to Business, and the motivation was I couldn't see students paying $100 or more for a textbook that they never seemed to open. So I went looking, and it was relatively easy to find something for an introductory course.
I think I went to one of your workshops for OER, and I went, this is a great place to kind of just begin even reducing further costs. So my concern was always about how do I make this easier for students, have access to it immediately, and not have to worry about purchasing a book.
I was able to be a part of a team which was producing OER work. I knew absolutely nothing about OER at that time. I had heard the term a couple of times. I didn't really know anything about it. And through the work, I was able to see a lot of different types of things. OER textbooks, OER writing, presentations, getting prepared information, that sort of thing, even instructing an OER class, that sort of thing. And it made me really, really, really want to do OER materials for other classes after that.
I remember the days when students would ask well before even the semester began, do we need to buy the required textbook because it's so expensive? I would find ways to encourage students to secure the material by suggesting they work with another student, or maybe contact the library to use a reserve copy and hope it be available when they would need it. Weeks into the course, there would still be students without a text. What was happening was not a result of laziness. However, these students would be waiting for funds to come through, be it their paycheck, reimbursement from their employers, or financial aid. And here they are weeks into the semester without the necessary tools to learn, and they would find themselves falling behind. OER materials can be accessed anywhere and at any time.
So my advice would be to start early and don't be afraid to use the text. You may find out through the semester that this text is, I'd rather chapter 17, but I didn't care for 15. But it's okay because you can always adapt that throughout the semester. I think that the students appreciate having a free textbook, and so having any choice is to me is better than none.
My advice to faculty considering transitioning to using OERs is to keep in mind developing these courses is a work in progress, which takes time. And I found this to be very beneficial in the sense it has allowed me to start small and make adjustments and tweak things along the way.
I think the biggest challenge for me in OER is just the sheer amount of material and organizing that material. If you're trying to curate some OER materials, that can be more difficult. But once again, I think I'm far more likely to want to curate all of those materials because it allows me to be so flexible with my course and so flexible with my students. They can even tell me what things they like to read, and we can maybe check those out as well. And those things often don't appear in a regular textbook.
I highly recommend it. One of the values of doing this is I went back and thought about how I taught, how the material was taught, what was important, where I could supplement material. So it was a good way to revisit what I was doing and to think about how I was doing it.